And our focus today is squarely on round one, group 222. And what a group. I mean, it is a massive genre clash.
It really is. We've got Where You Want to Be by Taking Back Sunday, the hits collection from Mike and the Mechanics, The Bitter Truth from Evanescence, and My Shame Is True by Alkaline Trio.
It's punk, it's pop rock, it's gothic metal. How do you even begin to compare them?
Exactly. But before we even get to who won, the first thing that jumped out from the analysis wasn't about the music, was it? It was something structural.
It was a really surprising connection about the vocalists, specifically in 3 of these 4 bands.
Okay, let's unpack that because it's a crucial piece of the puzzle here.
It is, yeah. So 3 of the 4 bands use 2 main singers. But, and this is the key, they do it in 3 completely different ways. It just shows how versatile that setup can be.
So let's start with the most straightforward one, Mike and the Mechanics.
Right. They're the classic model. You have Paul Young with his rockier voice, and then Paul Carrick with that incredibly soulful melodic delivery.
And they just alternate the lead vocal. It's clean. It gives them a ton of versatility. You can go from a big rock track to a ballad, and it feels natural.
Exactly. It's all about contrast.
Yeah.
But then you compare that to Taking Back Sunday, and it's a whole other thing.
Yeah, the reviewer called their sound disquiet harmonies. What does that even mean?
Well, the band has Adam Lazzara and Fred Maturino singing, but they often sing harmonies that are so similar, the author actually thought it was just one guy, multi-tracking his own voice.
So, why? I mean, if you can't really tell them apart, what's the purpose of having 2?
That's the question, isn't it? The goal seems to be textural, not melodic contrast. It creates this very thick, layered, kind of nervous energy. It's a signature sound for sure, but it's maybe less functional than what the Mechanics do.
Okay, so that's model number 2. And the third is Alkaline Trio.
Right, and they usually have Matt Skiba and Dan Andriano taking turns on lead vocals, song by song. Pretty clean division.
But on this album, My Shame Is True, they did something different.
They did. On the track I, Pessimist, they did their first ever proper duet, and the source material describes it as just scintillating and punchy.
So they're finally singing together on one track.
Yes, and they even brought in a guest, Tim McIlrath from Rise Against, and apparently all 3 of them were just straining to outdo each other. That energy, that competition, made it an instant classic for them.
So we've got utility, we've got texture, and we've got this competitive collaboration, which, of course, leaves the one band that doesn't fit the pattern.
Evanescence. Pure and simple, a one-vocalist band. It's all defined by Amy Lee's singular, gothic operatic voice.
And that's their whole identity.
It is. But what's so fascinating is the one huge exception to that rule, their breakout single, Bring Me Back to Life.
Right. That was a duet, technically, with Paul McCoy.
It was. And the source makes it very clear this was released despite Amy Lee's vociferous protestation. She fought against it.
Which is an incredible detail. That's the tension right there, isn't it? Artistic vision versus what the label thinks will sell.
And you can't argue with the results. The label is right on that one. The song smashed into the top of the charts everywhere, top 10 in the US and the UK. So even the band, defined by one voice, had its biggest hit with 2.
That's a great bit of context. So, okay, let's move on to the actual competition. First up, the modern rock and metal acts. Evanescence versus Alkaline Trio.
Yeah, and this is a great comparison. It's like superb technical production versus sheer, consistent mastery of a genre.
Let's start with Evanescence, The Bitter Truth. This is their 5th album, so they're well established.
And it sounds it. The production is incredible. Superbly produced, excellent sound engineering. It's dark, it's heavy. Maybe their heaviest album ever.
The analysis points to the opening. You get this slow, tense build with the intro track, Artifact the Turn.
Right, and it leads straight into this huge driving song called Broken Pieces Shine. It's designed to be this massive earth-shattering moment.
It just doesn't quite land, does it?
That's the major criticism. The reviewer felt the song itself, the payoff, doesn't quite match the expectation generated by that incredible intro.
So there's a sense of a slight letdown, like the album is great, it's crafted so well, but it labors a little.
Exactly. It's a critique of the songwriting or the pacing, not the technical skill. The sound is immaculate.
But if the production is that good and it has these undeniable highlights, like the source says, Far From Heaven rivals classics like My Immortal, What Makes It Labor.
That's a sharp point. I think it suggests that amazing engineering can only do so much. The classic tracks on the album, like Use My Voice or Better Without You, they're great. But maybe they weren't enough to carry the whole weight of the album for this reviewer.
Okay, so let's turn to Alkaline Trio's My Shame Is True. This one gets a much higher rank based on their artistry. They've reached a point of mastery.
And what mastery means here is just relentless consistency. It's a classic trio album. Punchy, short punk songs, edgy lyrics, great drumming, all of it. They know exactly what they do, and they execute it flawlessly.
But they're not just repeating themselves. The reviewer notes they're pushing into some newer, darker territory with songs like Midnight Blue.
And this is the detail that gets me.
All right, this is where it gets really, really interesting for me. We're pivoting to the biggest clash in the whole group.
Oh yeah, this is a philosophical battle, a collection of proven, masterfully crafted pop hits versus a huge commercial success that the reviewer just hated.
So Mike and the Mechanics hits. It's got all the songs you'd expect.
All of them. Living Years, Over My Shoulder, All I Need Is a Miracle, the big ones. And listening again, the reviewer had this discovery.
The synth.
The synth, it's everywhere, layered over the melodies, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's an offshoot of Genesis. That's in their DNA.
Right, but where Genesis used synths for prog mastery, the Mechanics made it more soulful and pop-friendly.
Exactly. And the individual songs are they're superior to almost everything else in this group.
But the collection as a whole has a flaw.
It does. The review says it doesn't blend well. The original albums were all over the place stylistically, soulful ballads, melodic rock, darker stuff. So a hits collection feels a bit disjointed.
But the quality of the songs wins out.
Absolutely. Silent Running Alone is called an utterly superb song. The craftsmanship guaranteed them what the source calls an obligatory group win.
Okay, now for the shocker. Taking Back Sunday. Where you want to be.
The commercial juggernaut.
I mean, the numbers are insane. Number 3 on Billboard in 2004, it sold 160,000 copies in its first week. Over 500,000 total.
Which is stunning, especially when you compare it to My Shame Is True, which only hit number 24 almost a decade later. It just shows the gap between mass appeal and, I guess, niche critical acclaim.
And the verdict from this Album Quest review is brutal.
It is. The album is dismissed as nothing more than average-sounding generic pop-punk.
Hooch. And it accuses them of trying too hard to be angsty without ever convincing anybody. The overall experience was drab and uneventful.
And this is where we have to remember the criteria, right? Taste, nostalgia, and discovery. That album clearly holds huge nostalgic value for 500,000 people.
But for this reviewer, it failed on taste and discovery. He found nothing new, no connection.
Right. The author flat out says it's light years from the quality of Mechanics' greatest hits. The only song that even gets called competent is New American Classic.
So it's the ultimate proof that sales figures mean absolutely nothing in a subjective exercise like this?
Exactly. For this album quest, those numbers were irrelevant. So after all that, 4 contenders listened to intently.
The final standings for round 1, group 222, are in, and this determines who moves on.
All right, let's hear it.
Taking the decisive loss at number 4 is Where You Want to Be by Taking Back Sunday.
No surprise there, given the review.
Coming in at number 3, The Bitter Truth by Evanescence.
Good, but not good enough to advance.
Which means securing the second progressing spot at number 2 is My Shame Is True by Alkaline Trio.
The masters of their craft. Makes sense.
And taking the obligatory, if slightly flawed, group win at number 1, Hits by Mike and the Mechanics.
So what this all means, really, is that Highcraft won the day, but in 2 totally different forms.
How do you mean?
Well, Mike and the Mechanics got through because of a career's worth of superior classic songwriting, just undeniable quality. And Alkaline Trio got through by achieving total mastery and consistency within their genre while still innovating.
Yeah, we've really uncovered some great little nuggets here. Those strange parallels between the dual vocalist bands, the whole backstory of the Evanescence duet.
And that critique that even a superbly produced album can still feel like it labors a little if the writing isn't quite there.
But at the end of the day, it just highlights that huge gap, doesn't it? 500,000 sales means nothing against a subjective measure of artistic quality.
The numbers tell one story, the music tells another.
Indeed. It all comes down to your own ears.